The real-life Arima Kinen more or less happened in the same way. Tama had a bad start, which is why he was in last place at first, and Soccer Boy hit the gate on his way out, breaking his front teeth and causing a nosebleed. On the other hand, Oguri had a good start and stayed in a good position. The pacing of the race was slow, but after the third corner, Tama started chasing from the outside, and by the fourth corner, he caught up with Oguri. The two gray horses competed fiercely on the final straightaway, but Tama, who used too much stamina chasing Oguri, was spent before the goal and Oguri won by half a horse length. She unlocks her zone in this race named Grey Phantom, which is possibly a reference to Oguri's grandsire, Native Dancer, who was nicknamed the Grey Ghost. Similar to Tama, Soccer Boy tried to chase from the outside, but he came up short. Because Super Creek was disqualified due to interference, Soccer Boy ended up in third place. I think part 2 is weaker than part 1. The pace is much slower. Part 1 covers almost a year and a half of Oguri's career, but part 2 only has 3 major races, the Kikasho, Japan Cup, and Arima Kinen. It also gets repetitive sometimes. Like, do we really need to learn about the foreign horse girls 3 times? First there's Fuji's interviews, then there's Beruno's investigation, and we have to hear a summarized version again before the race starts. Another thing I can't stand is how the horse girls start to talk mid-race. In part 1, it's mostly inner monologue or an occasional sentence to highlight the tension. But in the Japan Cup, they actually talk to each other. Obey, Tama, and Michelle all do this, and it's honestly silly to be talking when you're running like your lives depend on it. My last issue, which is something that I also dislike in the manga, is how heavily the story relies on the concept of zone. I don't like how it's portrayed as something you must have to win, and it's weird that it's treated more like a skill. Obey mentions that her zone is incomplete, like it's a skill you can learn and perfect, and it's even more ridiculous that Tama can control her zone in the Arima Kinen. From what I understand, zone is a mental state of extreme focus, which helps achieve high performance, but it's not something you can control or force to happen. And I hate that Musaka even points this out, saying that training to increase Oguri's overall performance is more important. Yet, zone is still portrayed as this almost superpower that can boost their performance to an insane level. That being said, I don't think part 2 is bad. I still like how it adapts the racehorses' careers, especially the rivalry friendship between Oguri and Tama. It perfectly encapsulates what a shame it was that they couldn't race together longer. But they will always be remembered as one of the greatest rivalry in Japan horse racing history.